Welcome to Earth Archives. As the most famous gladiator in the history of Rome, Spartacus, who rebelled against Rome, is naturally famous. But who would have thought that the gladiator businessman who cultivated him was almost unknown to everyone, but it was definitely not an ordinary person at that time. Today I will introduce Lentulus Batiatus. Before the show starts, please subscribe, like, and turn on the little bell. If possible, leave your thoughts. This will help the growth of the show. Without further ado, let's officially start. In the bustling markets of the Roman Empire, amidst the cacophony of vendors hawking their wares and the throngs of shoppers jostling for the best deals, there existed a unique class of entrepreneurs known as the gladiator merchants. These shrewd businessmen specialized in the buying and selling of one of Rome's most prized commodities, gladiators. Gladiators were the ultimate status symbol in Roman society, revered for their strength, skill, and courage in the arena. They were the embodiment of martial prowess and were idolized by both the aristocracy and the common folk alike. As such, owning a stable of gladiators was seen as a mark of prestige and power, a symbol of one's wealth and influence in Roman society. The gladiator merchants, therefore, occupied a position of considerable importance in the social hierarchy of the Roman Empire. They were the gatekeepers of the gladiatorial world, responsible for sourcing, training, and selling the most skilled and fearsome warriors to the highest bidders. Their fortunes rose and fell with the popularity of the games, and their influence extended far beyond the confines of the arena. One such gladiator merchant was Lentulus Batiatus, a man of towering ambition and boundless ruthlessness. Born into a family of modest means, Lentulus had always dreamed of rising to greatness and carving out a name for himself in the cutthroat world of Roman politics and commerce. From a young age, he displayed a keen business acumen and a knack for turning a profit, traits that would serve him well in the years to come. Lentulus rose through the ranks of the gladiator merchant elite through a combination of cunning, charisma, and sheer force of will. He cultivated a network of influential contacts and allies, using his charm and wit to win over potential patrons and outmaneuver his rivals. He spared no expense in acquiring the finest gladiators money could buy, scouring the empire for the most skilled and ferocious warriors to add to his stable. But Lentulus's ambitions did not stop there. He saw in the gladiatorial games an opportunity not just for profit, but for power and influence on a grand scale. He leveraged his connections in the highest echelons of Roman society to secure lucrative contracts and sponsorship deals, ensuring that his gladiators would be the stars of the arena and the envy of his competitors. Under Lentulus's guidance, his stable of gladiators flourished, becoming the most feared and renowned in all of Rome. His fighters were celebrated for their prowess and feared for their ferocity, dominating the arena and winning glory and riches for their master. Lentulus himself became a figure of legend, a larger-than-life presence in the cutthroat world of Roman politics and commerce. But for all his success, Lentulus's rise to power was not without its challenges. He faced rivals and enemies at every turn, jealous of his wealth and influence and eager to see him brought low. He navigated treacherous political waters, making and breaking alliances with the skill of a seasoned diplomat. And he grappled with the moral complexities of his chosen profession, wrestling with his conscience as he bought and sold men as if they were mere chattel. Training gladiators like Spartacus was no easy task. It required discipline, dedication, and a ruthless approach to combat. Lentulus spared no expense in ensuring that his gladiators were the best trained in all of Rome. They underwent grueling physical conditioning, honing their bodies to perfection through rigorous exercise and combat drills. But training was only part of the equation. Lentulus also invested heavily in the mental and emotional well-being of his gladiators. Knowing that a strong mind was just as important as a strong body in the arena, he hired the best instructors to teach them strategy and tactics, preparing them for the brutal spectacle of the games. For Spartacus, training under Lentulus was a grueling experience. But it was also a transformative one. Under Lentulus's guidance, Spartacus honed his skills as a warrior, becoming one of the most feared and respected gladiators in all of Rome. His name struck fear into the hearts of his opponents, and his victories in the arena brought glory and riches to his master. But Spartacus was more than just a gladiator. He was a symbol of resistance and defiance in the face of tyranny. And when the time came for him to rise up against his oppressors, Lentulus stood by his side, knowing that Spartacus's rebellion would change the course of history forever. In the end, Lentulus's fate was sealed by the very forces that had propelled him to greatness. His thirst for power and wealth had made him many enemies, and in the cutthroat world of Roman politics, enemies were not to be trifled with. Lentulus's downfall came swiftly and decisively, his empire crumbling around him as his rivals closed in for the kill. But even in defeat, Lentulus remained a figure of fascination and intrigue, his name whispered in hushed tones by those who remembered the glory days of the arena. His legacy lived on in the stories of his gladiators, who fought and died in his name, and in the memories of those who had crossed paths with him in the tumultuous world of Roman politics and commerce. Lentulus Batiatus may have fallen from grace, but his legend would endure for generations to come. A testament to the enduring power of ambition and the ruthless pursuit of greatness in the heart of the Roman Empire.